They say war changes a man, but they never talk about what happens when the war is lost. July 4th, a day of fireworks, flags, and patriotism. But I wasn't out there. I was walking back into the place where I made the worst mistake of my life. An underground bunker, buried in secrets, scorched by all-consuming fire and the screams of those I left behind. The door groaned open. The air was cold, thick, and alive. This was where they died, where I ran. I stepped through the rusted threshold. Symbols covered the walls, etched by things that never bled red. They weren't there during the war. They came after, and maybe they never left. It started a year ago, not with nukes, not with invasions, but with light. A burst of auroras stretched across North America. Everyone thought it was solar flare activity. We were wrong. They came in silence. Not soldiers, harvesters, creatures with no eyes, no mouths, just radiant flesh twitching with light, and piercing minds that slice through yours like razors. My Squad Echo unit was deployed to intercept a landing cluster in the Appalachian region. Orders were simple: repel. But repelling wasn't an option. They phased through bullets, and when they screamed, it meant only one thing: death. We were trapped inside this very bunker. Garcia was wounded. Lynn had lost her arm. Ramirez kept praying to a god who couldn't hear us through the static. Then they breached the top levels. And I made a call. I took the detonation codes and ran for the uplink room. The plan: overload the satellite tower and blind the invaders with a feedback burst. It could buy us enough time for evacuation. It could have worked. But the satellite didn't respond. The burst never came, and the creatures reached them first. I heard their screams, not through the radio. In my head, every day since then, it's haunted me in my dreams. Today is July 4th, and I'm back in the bunker. The walls feel closer now. The door screeched open. Air punched me. Stale, moldy, tainted with something wrong. In my head, I really wished fireworks burst above me. Red, white, blue. A celebration of liberty. Then I stepped into the bunker. A tomb buried under the weight of orders and ashes. My flashlight flickered across the walls. Symbols, twisted things, carved deep, glowing faintly like wounds, still fresh. They didn't belong here. Neither did I. Whispers crawl like insects behind the concrete. The deeper I went, the heavier it became. Like breathing inside a coffin. Then the whispers. You said you'd come back. You promised. We trusted you. But you left. Why didn't you die too? I turned. Saw nothing. The lights flickered. Then faces emerged. Ghosts of my unit. Morgan, my commanding officer. Half his skull caved in. Uniform torn, but his voice steady like stone. Morgan said, you thought you were saving us? Look at what you achieved. Look closely. Here are your fallen brothers. Garcia's crooked smile. Lynn's sharp eyes. Ramirez's nervous laugh. All gone. All because you failed. You ran away like a coward. I followed orders, I said. You followed fear. They answered. His shape twisted. An amalgamation of all of them. Garcia, Lynn, Ramirez, screaming, melting, turning into them, and it was all because of me. The alien energy pulsed from the symbols now, glowing with memory, feeding on regret. I reached into my pocket. Garcia's matchbook. He used to say we'd share a cigar after the last mission. I struck a match. The flame danced in defiance. You think fire will save you? He asked. No, I replied. I came back with one last weapon, a neural disruptor, reverse engineered from alien tissue. Unstable, fatal. But if I synced it with the bunker's signal relays, I could trap whatever this was. The creature lunged and tried to rip me apart. Gathering whatever courage was left in me, I unleashed my final assault. Not with bullets, but with fire and memory. Its claws dug into my chest. The device slipped out of my hand, but at the last minute, I managed to press the switch. And this time, the signal responded. The room lit up, symbols burst into flames, the echoes stopped. The bunker collapsed around me, but the thing that wore my squad's faces, it burned. I looked into its core, and I saw them. Not angry, just waiting. I whispered, "I'm sorry." Then everything went white. They'll find the crater, black glass and ash. No records, no answers, but somewhere in that soil, a photograph survived. 5 smiling soldiers. A July day, before the sky cracked open. Some wars end with surrender, some with annihilation. Mine didn't end with surrender or annihilation. Mine ended with forgiveness. And for the first time in a year, the stars above looked silent again.